3, 2, 1. We're hot.
Yes, live, baby.
Today's the day, Marvin. It's your big day.
What's today?
Today's the day you do the intro. We said it last time.
Oh, hey, welcome back. This is the Harsh Language Podcast. This is episode 63.
Woo! He did it.
And I don't mess that shit up. Never, not once.
Not like me. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. We got Dusty on the fresh handy cam.
What is a handy cam?
Got that straight out the closet.
Yep.
Dug that one up. That was clutch, though.
I left my camera in California. Had to, was that or buy a new cam?
Hit us with the plug.
Fuck that, yeah. I'll just get the old one. Yeah. You could have probably plugged up your phone somehow.
Yeah, actually I probably could, yeah. I'm gonna have to do that next time I record.
Next time.
We could try it.
Are they shipping it out or what?
No, I'm gonna go to my brother's for a couple weeks and house sit for him. They're going to on a Mediterranean cruise for their anniversary.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm gonna be back here, and then I gotta go back out to California. So there's no reason to ship it because this is good enough. Or maybe I'll figure out how to do it with the phone.
Yeah, that's good. I don't mind.
Hit the plug, Marvin.
What's the plug?
Website.
Oh, harshlanguage.tv. Listen. Hey, listen. Dan created an amazing website, harshlanguage.tv. Yep. It's got our bios up there, you know what I'm saying? It's got all the links. And it looks great.
Does look pretty good.
It looks great.
And
what
you guys
else been up to?
Wait, what else, Marvin? Last thing. What do we got in store for the show today? You got to hit him with that.
Oh, yes. Later on, we're going to be covering Mutant Mayhem, the newest animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
That's right.
I don't know when it went digital, but I think recently, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
That was good, Marvin. I think you got the job.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
How was your guys' week?
Pretty boring, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Been watching some. What have I been watching?
I've been watching.
You know what? I got
nothing.
inspired to watch some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies because I was playing the game a lot, so I was trying to get some of that lore.
Oh, did you watch the movie?
I've never seen the original. Yeah, the 74 one or whatever.
You fucked me because October was my pick for Make Marvin Watch. I was gonna use Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh shit!
Because last
that
year,
one up for you.
All right, well, whatever. Last year, when we watched, my Make Marvin Watch was Halloween, right? And it worked out that we did it on Halloween or the day before Halloween.
No, was it Halloween or was it the Black Christmas?
Oh, the Make Marvin Watch was Black Christmas. Halloween, we just did the day before Halloween.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. But when we talked about Halloween, I mentioned how, Halloween is technically responsible for spawning the slasher genre in its current form. But
this one came first.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre and another film called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Both predate Halloween and are technically
is that like a racist sundown town or what?
No.
That is pretty scary. That's probably one of the scariest movies I ever watched.
We could watch it this year. We got to start planning for October. It's just,
is it just like a
standard
horror,
murder shit?
Standard.
Yeah.
When did that come out? 69?
Let's see. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. That came out in 1976.
Wait, so that was after Texas Chainsaw, right?
It's after, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The story of a hooded berserk killer who terrorizes the border town of Texarkana, Arkansas in 1946, leaving no fewer than 5 murder victims in his wake. He was never caught, based on one of America's most baffling murder cases. So it's based on a true story.
Texarkana.
Hooded, Marvin. You might be onto something.
What do you mean hooded?
He was the inspiration for Friday the 13th, Part 2, when we first meet Jason Voorhees, and he's not wearing the iconic hockey mask. He's wearing like a sack on his head with an eye hole cut out.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, so you watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time. What'd you think?
It was good.
Yeah, you liked it?
I did enjoy it. It felt short, though.
It's very short.
And,
hour and 20 minutes about.
It's the acting wasn't that great. But
no, I mean, it's a fucking...
It was good, yeah.
It's an indie movie. That's what makes it more scary, though, because it's kind of like it's so low budget that it like actually makes it scarier because it almost looks like just shitty found footage almost.
Yeah, it does.
In a way. So you liked it?
It was good, yeah. And the game recreated a lot of stuff really well.
I haven't played the game yet. I think I might join you guys maybe if you got some space.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of waiting. A couple of my buddies, we play crossplay, so they recently like disabled it. So that's annoying, but waiting on that. But yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, from what I saw of the game, because I watched some people play it on stream, it looks like it's pretty like respectful of the lore or like the source materials of all the films really, but first one's really the only one that matters.
I haven't watched footage of it.
You haven't watched it? It looks fun.
It looks
really fun.
It kind of looks like a cross between like Dead by Day. It's like a Dead by Daylight-ish type of game, more like the Friday the 13th game that came out, sort of.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's just like DVD, Dead by Daylight. It's just it has multiple exits. You know,
yeah. Different ways to get out.
The killers can actually kill instead of having to put the victims on the hook.
Are they overpowered
or whatever the fuck it is? Nah, I don't think so.
Because the problem with go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think both sides have some cheesy shit that can happen, but that balances it in a way. I think.
The problem with those games for me, and obviously it's a video game, so you have to like tune it for fun, right?
Yeah.
But I always feel like the killers in those games, particularly Dead by Daylight, because I have a ton of time playing that game back in the day, they don't really seem as overpowered as you would expect. Or I mean, personally, I think that they should be like super hard to kill or fight or survive against because they're fucking killers. Like that's the whole point of horror movies, right?
Right. Yeah. No, you can like stab them. Like you can pick up these bone shards and like stab them and stun them. You can stun them by like slamming doors and shit. But yeah, they're pretty. If they catch you, because you know their stamina. I don't think Dead by Daylight had any type of stamina system. So
gotcha.
When you're running as a survivor or victim, you know, you run out of stamina, you could just be fucked pretty easily.
Deceit 2 comes out soon in a couple days. Actually, we might have to get on that.
That's right. I never played the beta, but down to try out the real game.
We all had a lot of fun playing that. But all right, so that's cool that you watched it. I'm glad you liked it. It's a classic, obviously.
This is a classic for sure.
How would you rank it compared to, let's say, like Halloween and Black Christmas?
It's definitely like 2 notches below those two.
That's fair.
I would say. I don't remember what I rated them, but it's probably a good 2 notches.
Yeah, Tobe Hooper, who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he's a legend in the pantheon of horror movies.
Yeah. Did he do anything after that besides like sequels to?
Yeah, he did a couple of sequels, some notable movies he's done. He did a Stephen King adaptation, made-for-TV movie, Salem's Lot, which happens to be very good, despite it being made for TV. He did Poltergeist, which came out in 1982, which is
I haven't seen that either.
That's when I was considering for the.
Can you write that down? Because I hadn't thought about it. That's actually.
I mean, you guys could probably do a whole month of Make Marvin watch horror movies because there's a lot of horror.
Poltergeist was on my list for Halloween or for October.
Well, let's let the people in on the behind the scenes how we plan some stuff. Last year we just picked horror movies, and then we still did a Make Marvin watch. But we didn't care if they were old or new. We just picked each one of us picked a fun horror movie. So I just figured we would do the same thing this month. Like you pick one, I pick one, Dusty picks one, and then the fourth movie happens to be the Make Marvin watch of the month, which is my pick for October. I got lucky again, and I rolled the October pick. So we'll just do the same thing. But keep Poltergeist in mind because we might want to make you watch it. It's such a good fucking movie.
Noted. Yeah, got it.
And Poltergeist was also written by Steven Spielberg. So you got a horror legend, Tobe Hooper, directing, the GOAT, Steven Spielberg, writing. Ooh, that's a recipe, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
when was that? 80-something?
1982.
82.
And then that's really, honestly, it. I know he did some Tales from the Crypt episodes, Tobe Hooper.
Oh, nice.
Other than that, looking through his list, there's nothing really notable. He did some like TV series stuff. He did a guest spot on Masters of Horror when that series came out. That was like a collection of little shorts that like a bunch of horror icons got together to do.
Right.
But yeah. All right. So Marvin's got Texas Chainsaw under his belt. That's big. That's big.
That is big.
That's a big level up you got there. I haven't watched anything this week. Been fully in the Tarkov world yet again. But I did watch Jurassic Park with a friend of mine. I hadn't seen it in a really long time. Talking about the GOAT, Spielberg. Such a good movie. You've obviously seen that movie, right, Marvin?
Yeah. I've seen Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's funny because I had recently watched one of the Star Wars prequels, and the CGI, like those movies. Jurassic Park came out in fucking 1990. Fuck, I don't even know. 1993. 1993. Okay. Yeah, and Star Wars, the prequels, like figure just the Phantom Menace, came out in 1999. So years later. So Jurassic Park might be like one of the first films to like really utilize like the CGI of the time
too, though.
It really actually does. That's what I was gonna say. It's a nice blend of like practical and CGI.
Very well done.
But the CGI that's on screen, it's like really impressive for being done in 1993. And then you got to figure the way movie productions are, they take 3, 4, 5 years to make. That means the technology had existed since the late 80s. So it's like, I don't know. It does hold up pretty good, honestly. I was surprised to go back and watch it. But yeah, Jurassic Park's a fucking classic. That's all I've watched. How about you, Dusty?
I did not really get to watch anything this week. I just drove back from California, so I've been on the road for the last 2 days. Got home yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Still haven't unpacked.
How was the drive?
Had a bunch of shit to do. It was all right.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I drove 14 hours, slept for about 6, and then drove 10 hours or 11 hours.
Where'd you stop at, like a hotel or something? Motel?
Yeah.
Slept in your car?
Two-star motel this time. Yeah, it was
like a murder motel? Oh my God.
$60.
You're brave.
I mean, no.
You sleep with your piece?
Gallup, New Mexico, a little Indian run place.
You sleep with your gat across your chest just in case you got to fucking spring into action?
Pillow.
No.
All right.
Not necessary.
You're a brave man. I would not. See, this is the thing.
If I'm sleeping in the car, yes, but if I'm sleeping in a hotel, it's not that close. It's close enough, though.
That's the power of horror movies, baby. Because you're talking about traveling across country. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like one of the first movies that like pops into my head. Like, I ain't fucking going nowhere. Backwoods, none of that shit. Fuck all that. That's the power of horror movies. You know? I don't believe in anything.
Crazy. That shit was, I believe it's Uvalde is where.
Yeah.
And that's.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The thing about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like, there are for sure families like that exist. I just saw one today. I don't know if they're violent and murderous, but I was scrolling TikTok and I keep getting videos of this documentary of this family in like the West Virginian mountains, and they're like known as like the most inbred family like on
they're
Earth.
The Whitakers.
Yeah, the Whitakers. Yeah, one guy talks like he can only communicate with like grunts and like a fucking dog and shit.
Sounds like a dog, yeah.
Like so like the family from Texas Chainsaw, man, what's to say that like there aren't these there have to be. And I don't want to meet them. I just don't.
Yeah, there's like a full documentary on YouTube and a follow-up
of the Whitakers?
Of the Whitakers, yeah. It's this guy, Soft White Underbelly, that does he was a photographer for Apple, but then he started interviewing like prostitutes, pimps, and then
getting really in there.
The Whitakers and shit like that. So
yeah, that shit is crazy.
He makes really good videos.
And think about too, like Barbarian. I know you didn't like the movie, but like those towns exist, like just dead towns that like crackheads and fucking like who the fuck knows what's going on in these places? You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell them. Yeah,
I don't believe in anything like magical, mystical, or paranormal, but man, I've seen enough horror movies to at least be open minded about some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So fuck all that. All right. Well, your trip went well. Yeah.
Yeah, made it back.
Okay, that's
safe
good.
and sound.
You like
Nice.
driving? You don't like to fly, right? Like me? Or you just prefer to drive?
I don't mind flying. Either one's fine with me, really. I like driving sometimes because you don't have to deal with what you can and can't take with you.
That's fair.
So
Okay. That's fair. All right. Well,
not a fan of the TSA.
yeah, I mean, listen. I've always wanted to do like a cross country drive, but I haven't never gotten around to it yet.
It's fun. I mean, I've done this drive 6 or 7 times at least. It's 1,600 miles each way. It's 3,000
Damn.
miles
Yeah.
So a healthy haul.
round trip. Yeah, it is.
And
When I drove to Vegas with my parents, they helped me drive. And
Oh, you drove?
yeah,
Oh, when you
I
moved.
think it was, when I moved from North Carolina to Vegas, it was like 33 or 3,600 miles.
Damn.
So, but it was split up with multiple people. So it was.
Did you enjoy the
pretty easy.
drive?
It was cool. I got to see a lot of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's easy when you go, see the countryside's awesome.
Yeah.
See some amazing things while you're out there on the road.
Yep.
We should take the podcast mobile, do like a van life harsh language podcast.
$150 a month for the Elon mobile internet, I think.
Bro, I've seen those streamer kits that they have, like these like DIY kits. Those shits are crazy. They have like hotspots and like all sorts of stuff. They're expensive, but they're cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and they seem pretty lightweight. I was trying to tell Owen he should invest in one and do fishing streams, but you know, he's Owen. So.
He definitely should.
Yeah.
That would take it to another level for sure.
Hit it big with the world's win, so
right.
He's got the money.
Got the cash.
What's
going on in the news this week, Dusty? Anything big?
Nothing super big. Strike still going on. Actually,
is it now?
The WGA's negotiating committee updated its members Friday that talks with executives shows promise, while talks with the AMPTP are still at a standstill. Now, the AMPTP is like the collective bargaining group that generally does everything for all the studios.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some, like, this is the line, we're not crossing it. But apparently the WGA is saying we've been talking to some studio executives on the side, and some of them are willing to meet most, if not all, of our demands in some of the things we're talking about. So
we're getting close.
Yeah, they're trying to get the studio executives to step away and negotiate outside without collective bargaining. You know, just negotiate individually if they have to get things moving again. So maybe this is the change that we're going to see. There's not going to be any more collective bargaining. It's going to be, look, you're a $1 billion studio. You can afford this. Let's make this work.
It's just stupid. It's like such a dumb thing. They're like literally from their perspective and how much money they worth. They're arguing over like literal pennies. It would be like me owing Marvin like $5 and being like, I don't know, man, Marvin, it's really, I don't know.
It's more about the opportunity that opens up when they agree to these demands than the amount. The amount could be anything. It's like, but once you open that door, it's like, oh shit, we can actually get things done.
Well, they've had a cash cow on their hands for a while because this is basically driven by the streamers, right? It's like their whole thing, and like they're not paying actors for work that they're showing on their platform, which is like stupid, you know?
Yep.
Right.
So like, of course, they don't want to like let go of their cash cow, but
yeah, for sure. Pretty sure I read a headline that there was a petition signed in Europe to have Parliament pay wages to writers and actors and stuff while they're striking, so they can live. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the AMPTP, after all this news of the WGA saying, hey, yeah, we're talking to studio executives and they're willing to deal, but the AMPTP is not. They're like, no, we're all aligned. We're negotiating together. That's all bullshit. So that's all that's really happening with the negotiations. Nothing new there.
Okay.
Tim Burton
was
talking to The Independent, and he was talking about Beetlejuice 2, I feel before the actor strike, which was in July, I feel grateful we got what we got. Literally, it was a day and a half. We know what we have to do. It's 99% done. So Beetlejuice is due to come out September 6th, 2024, but the SAG strike.
Yeah.
A day and a half, guys. Come on. Day and a half. We could have had it in the pipe, but now we got to wait. So
they were off by a day and a half of finishing filming.
Finishing filming, and
Jesus.
the actor strike wouldn't have mattered, and they could have done all the post-production and just had it and released it whenever they wanted to.
Wow.
Or when they were scheduled to in September
Sucks to
next
suck.
year. So yeah, we got
All right.
that. I guess. Shout out to Mikey Sutton. I didn't cover this last week. He was the Geekosity founder and editor-in-chief. He passed away just recently.
Oh, rip.
He's considered one of the best movie scoopers in the business. I have been using him since before we even started this whole thing. Like, I've been following Mikey for a long time. He is a great movie scooper. He scooped both Sony and Marvel Studio deals with Spider-Man, Black Panther and Spider-Man and Civil War, Benedict Cumberbatch and Brie Larson in the MCU, the Fox and Disney deal,
Right.
and the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. These are some of the things that he scooped. But I don't know what's going to happen to Geekosity. I love that site. It's great for news and stuff, but they haven't really posted anything since they posted the information about his passing. So who knows what's to happen with that. But he's been in the business a long time, and he's gone now. So no more scoops from Mikey Sutton, but shout out to him. So,
Yep, rip.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyhow.
He was pretty young, only 55
That is young.
or 54, one of those.
WB continues to suspend production with deals and creators. J.J. Abrams and Greg Berlanti were on the block this time around. Abrams didn't have anything with WB. They had already scrapped all the shows. He was doing Constantine, I think, and a couple other things, and they already scrapped the shows, but they still had a deal with him.
He also had
So
his
they've scrapped that.
Black Superman planned.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Because
They
his
scrapped all
company
that,
had
though.
struck a big deal with WB.
Yeah, they
Couple
had a
years
big deal, and
back.
they scrapped all the everything that he had lined up in the pipe was shelved or.
I thought that
otherwise,
was
but they
even being
finally-
worked on. Like, people were talking about Michael B. Jordan playing Superman, and
I don't know,
or it's
but
not.
Berlanti Productions,
They should get
they were in
Danny Brown
charge
to
of
play
Superman and
I
Lois.
think that would shake everything up.
Yo, Danny Brown would be fucking hilarious. That's fucking so funny. Sorry, go on. Superman and Lois.
Yeah, Berlanti is in charge of Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be doing Booster Gold and Dead Boy Detective. So, but these are suspend and extend contracts, so they could always kick them back up once the strike is done, or even I guess if the strike ends before these contracts end, all the time that they were excluded, they get back at the end.
Shout out
Just
to
put it back
him.
on the end of it.
He started a $500,000 strike relief fund to support
Who did?
Greg Berlanti
Oh, yeah.
to support staff of his company's shows. So that guy's the real guy. He's a real guy,
Yep.
and this motherfucker knows how to make
He loves his work. He
a
loves his work.
superhero fucking show, boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he's pretty good at it.
Should have let him fucking write Superman. I love James Gunn, but man,
Well, there
having to
were
let go of
rumors
Superman
flying
and
around
Lois, oh god, it's gonna kill me.
when we were talking about who's going to head WB. His name got put out there a few times.
He would be the obvious choice. Like, he was running the whole Arrowverse, which was like wildly popular.
All the CW shows, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Anyways,
oh well.
Clint Eastwood's directing days may be over. This is his last movie he's doing with WB, Juror Number 2.
He's like 100.
Yeah, he's 50 years of directing, I think 70 years of acting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're calling this his final film of his career. Maybe it'll be the final one he does with WB. I mean, Zaslav, he was complaining about some of the films when he came in and he was trying to do cuts and shit. And they were like, well, it's Clint Eastwood. We usually give him a little creativity when stuff doesn't do as well as they thought it would. He's like, no, but we don't owe anybody anything. But It's Clint Eastwood. He kind of came back around on that. He's like, yeah, do the last film with us. It's great.
All right.
So, but yeah, the juror number 2, it's the story is said to follow a juror on a murder trial who realizes that he may have caused the victim's death and must grapple with the dilemma of whether to manipulate the jury to save himself or reveal the truth and turn himself in. So this will be the last movie he directs it, and he's almost 93 years old.
I gotta
Hopefully he
be
even
honest.
gets to do it. I mean, we're striking right now, so by the time he even gets around to doing it, he could be 95.
Yeah.
Right. Oof.
As a director, I just like I think he's like kind of overrated, to be honest. His movies are always like super highly rated, and I've never really enjoyed any of them that much. Like a couple of them I really like, but like I'm just looking through the list of his work, and it's like, ooh. Like Mystic
He's been with
River.
WB since Gran Torino, but
That movie
I
is
mean,
a joke, dude. Go ahead.
he's got some good ones and he's got some just okay ones. I mean, I think he's got 50 directing credits.
Yeah, he's got a lot. Mystic River is like one of my favorite movies, and he directed it, and that movie's fantastic. But like everything after that, it's like, all right, $1 Million Baby was like pretty good. Letters from Iwo Jima is pretty good. And then it's like Gran Torino, like, ugh. That movie has an 8.1. It's one of me and my friend were watching this movie in theaters, like hysterically laughing while people were crying their eyes. Like, I don't understand this movie, honestly. This movie has like its claws in people. Have you ever seen it, Marvin?
Nope. Never.
It's like the worst acting imaginable. Like, it's such a joke of a movie, but people love it. I don't understand why. Anyhow, American Sniper, wildly overrated movie about a fucking shithead who people praise as a hero. Don't understand that. And then I just kind of stopped watching his movies. I did want to see Jersey Boys because I actually like Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, but I haven't gotten around to watching that. Anyhow, what else you got for us, Dusty?
Batman Day is coming up September 16th, which is this Saturday. Nolan's films will be in select theaters, so if you want to get out to the movie theater and watch the Batman trilogy, you can do that for a few weeks.
Marvin, you just watched him. You missed your chance to see him in theaters.
Yeah, no, that kind of sucks.
And if you still happen to be a cable subscriber and you're wondering why Batman's is basically on every fucking station, Max, HBO, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, TNT, TBS.
Oh, are they like?
Because it's Batman Day.
Are they like fucking?
They're all
out
going to
all
be
sorts
showing
of Batman stuff?
Yeah, movies and
Okay.
shows and stuff. Yep. So
I recently
going
read
on.
a list, and I don't know. I forget where it was on. I think it was on Twitter or something. Of like the best Jokers. But the list, it was on Twitter, but it was from like an actual like movie site, by the way.
Yeah.
And they got fucking Heath Ledger as like number 6 or 5. And I was like,
Damn.
this is the most contrarian fucking list I've ever seen. They had Mark Hamill as number 1. Now, no doubt, Mark Hamill is one of the best Jokers. We all agree on that.
Yep.
But he ain't fucking Heath Ledger. Like, give me a fucking break. And Jack Nicholson up there, I just don't get it. I don't get that at all. Like, they had Jack
What was
Nicholson
the
above him.
website? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It just popped into my brain that I even read it. Honestly, I totally forgot about it. But did not agree. Let's just say that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was a little bit wild.
I don't know. I
That's
still
probably
think
was just clickbait for interaction.
Mark
Everyone's trying to get a $7 check from fucking Elon.
That
Mark
Elon
Hamill
money.
and Kevin Conroy both top my lists in both of those categories. So
They're great, but it's just a different portrayal. Like Kevin Conroy can be on. I mean, it's just a different
But
portrayal.
Mark's had so many. Yeah, I don't know.
Of course.
I think maybe there's a little,
Which I think is even more of a
because it
reason
feels
why.
a little diluted. Heath had one shot before he could do anything else, and it was great.
Yeah.
Mark has had some just as great, if not better, performances along the lines, but he's also had some that may not be considered as good as what Heath did.
And of course, this is wildly subjective, right? But
Sure.
I think it's not really quantifiable. But for me personally, what really makes Heath Ledger number 1 is the fact that he's the only Joker that I think was scary. Like, I think he's legitimately scary in that movie at times. Like, and that I think really sells the persona of the Joker. Like, the cartoon versions, like, they're cartoons, right? And he's definitely mad and out of his mind, but like, it's geared towards kids at the end of the day. So the Mark Hamill Joker kind of doesn't have that that like sinister like thing in him. Like I know it's there, but it's more of like a playful version of it. Whereas like Heath Ledger's version, like, oh fuck, that guy is like out of his fucking mind. But then you strip that layer away, he's not actually out of his mind. He's a very smart person. He knows what he's doing. Like he knows to a T what he's doing, which makes him even more scarier. And that's the whole point of the movie is he's just an agent of chaos. Like he has no goals. He has no motivations. He's just he just wants to see the fucking world burn. So I don't know. That for me is what really makes him number one.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene where he breaks into Bruce's little party and he's like, you know, that whole scene, it's like he's fucking actually scary in that scene when he's like fucking harassing what's her name. He's like, "Hello, beautiful," and like fixes his hair and shit. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, they're like obviously top two. Like,
yeah, for sure. Jack Nicholson did a really good job too, but it's just different.
Yeah.
Vicky Vale.
No, that wasn't Vicky Vale. That was in Dark Knight. That was what's her name? Rachel.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Burton's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with Vicky Vale.
Jack Nicholson did that with he broke in and
yeah at the museum.
It was a nod, yeah.
After the big Prince musical number.
Mm-hmm. CEO David Zaslav said WPIP has been underused.
Says what has been underused?
WBIP.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that they need to be careful not to overuse it as well. He said things like long form content for like Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they haven't really done anything since, Man
fucking
of Steel.
no shit. Yeah, it's been fucking 12 years since we've gotten a Superman movie. Biggest cultural icon.
Been about a decade since they've done anything with Harry Potter, really. I mean, they did just put out a game that was so controversial that it sold.
Aren't they doing a whole new thing?
That show is in the works, though.
Yeah. Only even Game of Thrones, he thinks they could do more with, which they've got, a show? Anyway, no?
Okay.
So, he's excited about expanding those. The big three, I guess, that's the big three for WB. And he wants to use it more and use it properly, but not overuse it. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Speaking of using it, Aquaman teaser was released.
I saw
with the confirmation that a full-length trailer is coming this Thursday, September 14th. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom closes out the DCEU, obviously, and the Snyderverse era, and it's almost here. It's coming out December 20th.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Am I the only one that just couldn't care less about fucking Aquaman? Is he like a favorite? Is he like a fan favorite or something?
Well, we talked about this last week. Comic book fans really like him, but
that's right. Yeah,
the layman.
Yeah,
he's just goofy. Speaks to fucking animals.
Part
and
of the
shit,
Super Friends.
Yeah, I think the Super Friends era like put a fucking goofy ass veil over all these heroes. Even like the 70s Spider-Man show, like it was just goofy back then. Like the 70s were just goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
But under the right guidance, I think Aquaman could be a cool hero. I just don't think I don't think Aquaman in the Zack Snyderverse was good at all. I don't like his portrayal. I don't like who played him. I don't think he's that great of an actor. His lines were goofy. Like he was relegated. He's like in Justice League. He's just like, oh yeah. Like that's all he fucking says. They have him out of the water 90% of the time, like fucking doing weird shit. And then the Aquaman movie, I thought was fucking terrible. I did not like it at all. Like the CGI was bad. Like it was just goofy as fuck. Like they're like,
okay.
I did not like it. Yeah, I did not like it. So I don't really care about this. And then like there's the whole like Amber Heard part of it. It's like, whatever. Don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Let it come and go. Although I was surprised by Flash and I didn't care about that. So maybe I'll like it. Who knows?
Interesting.
I'll give it a shot.
Dune Part 2's postponement has opened the door for other films to hit IMAX. Hunger Games prequel, Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, and Disney's The Marvels. All three will be taking over the screens that were initially reserved for the Dune sequel. That was confirmed by IMAX CEO Richard Gelfond. So you can go watch those movies at IMAX now. You wouldn't have been able to prior. Any plans to do that? You go see the Marvels at IMAX, Dan?
The Marvels?
Probably not the Marvels.
I'm gonna probably see it because I see all the Marvel movies, but I don't think I'll see it in IMAX.
Definitely not Hunger Games, and I don't know. I don't know about a Scorsese's film on IMAX.
Yeah.
I don't know. IMAX.
I haven't been to the movies in so long, bro. I have no desire really, to be honest.
I still like going to the movies, especially for the big event ones like Marvel films and stuff, but I don't know. IMAX is like very expensive. It's fun and like it's cool, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see how it goes. Maybe I'm definitely going to go see it, but I don't know if I'll see it in IMAX.
All right. Well, we don't have much Disney news.
I have Disney news.
Sean Levy, he was at the 2023 Toronto Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
He had a conversation with Entertainment Weekly on the subject of Deadpool came up, or more specifically, Wolverine and his costume. And this is what he said. Like the rest of the world, I've waited 2 decades to see Wolverine in a whole movie with Deadpool. And I didn't know if this is our last shot at Wolverine on screen. So I was going to make goddamn sure we get the old yellow and blue just once and that we get it right. So I don't know if you guys have probably seen the pics that have been leaked out that showed him in uniform. I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
It looks good.
Yeah. They apparently made him try on dozens and dozens of different uniforms before they found one that they liked.
Hey, you got to get that shit right because fucking fans are going to be, oh my God, this is They made his suit woke.
Yeah. And then the only other really thing I have is Kevin Wright, executive producer of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an interview with EW and he gave some details on Ouroboros, aka OB, who is our boy Ki-Hee Kwan in the new season.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently his office is hidden deep in the bowels of the facility, and his field is basically every piece of tech, every computer, everything that is running at the TVA. He either designed it or he fixes it and keeps it running. So, that's what his character is going to be. He's like,
that's cool.
Like the Alfred of the Nolan films.
Yeah, the little tech guy. I love him.
So,
I just want to see more of him in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was he in Indiana Jones, Dusty? I forgot to ask.
No.
Okay. Because I don't know if you remember, but there were rumors that he was like seen around the set.
Right.
That's a fucking
I
miss.
reported on that.
Yeah, that's a miss. How do you not have fucking Short Round in what is probably Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie?
There were lots of,
especially with the run he's been on. That's like a big miss for them, marketing wise, everything.
That is. And then to hear that the movie was terrible, it's like, still haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's mid.
Yeah.
Tori fucking hated it. She wanted to come on. She still wants us to actually talk about it because she wants to come on the show to like actually shit on it. Like she fucking hated it.
Shit.
And she likes everything. She like because I've told you guys before she's worked in the industry, and she sees things from a different perspective. Like she's even enlightened me sometimes when I like shit on an actor's performance. She'll be like, you got to understand. Like a lot of the time, it's really not their call. It's like the director.
Yeah.
So
you read this and you read it like this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it 100 times until I feel like you've done it like this.
So she likes everything, and I don't mean that in a as a fault. Like she just always has like a positive outlook on movies and stuff. Like, oh, I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but but this movie,
half full.
Fucking hated it. She's like, this movie was terrible. It was fucking stupid. Like they didn't utilize the score properly. Like, man, she had a lot to say. She's like, I need you guys to talk about it so I could come on and have like an opinion on it. So maybe let's do it. Maybe we gotta bust it out at some point. But
well, we talked about this a little bit. It came up. It was kind of an inside joke. Netflix physical releases.
Yeah.
Did you have a piece of Disney news that you wanted to spit out first?
It's not really news. It's a rumor. And that is the fact that apparently Marvel Studios wants Alfonso Cuarón to direct Avengers Secret Wars, which would be amazing because he's obviously a great filmmaker. We recently watched Children of Men, and you guys know how good that fucking movie is. But in terms of like big budget, like action films, he did Prisoner of Azkaban, which I think is the best Harry Potter movie, as I've recently watched them for the first time, and that one I thought was the best one. Maybe I was a little bit biased because I knew he directed it, but he's an interesting choice for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
man. That's
that would be
gonna
good.
Be so good.
Actually, I don't know. Man,
Yeah,
should be good.
I
That
did
would be
Gravity too.
Oh yeah, he did Gravity. Gravity's great.
Gravity was good.
That's my only piece of Disney stuff, but yeah, you can go on.
Okay. Yeah, Netflix physical releases. We were talking about this, how you can only stream it. Well, that is and isn't the case.
Yep.
This came up because Sandman is getting a physical release. Now, Netflix original films never get a physical release.
Nope.
However, Netflix shows do get releases, and they have gotten releases.
Oh yeah, there's some
Stranger Things. Yep.
Mark
Longmire, House of Cards, Narcos, Orange is the New Black, Race with Frankie, all the Marvel shows. So this isn't new for Netflix. Shows that are popular have gotten physical releases, but original films never have. And I was actually looking at this a little bit more thoroughly, and apparently they still have a DVD and Blu-ray subscription that you can sign up for. It's separate from the streaming service, and it's just like $7.99 or $9.99 or something.
Yeah, of course.
You can keep the movie for as long as you want, and you send it back and get another one. But yeah,
yeah.
So they still do that, and yeah, we were talking about physical releases. So
well, where the
that was
fuck
interesting.
Is my Midnight Mass box set?
Good question.
I would buy that shit in a heartbeat. Fuck Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things, but Midnight Mass, oh my god.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Technically, I own it already, but you know.
Oh, I did have one piece of
Disney
go ahead.
news.
Hit us.
This is from last week though. I posted a tweet right after we recorded last week. So you know, some news always comes out a day after.
That's true. Yeah. Even when we record a day late.
Yep.
This is a tweet from Discussing Film. It says, more than a dozen past and present Disney execs believe Bob Iger's desired endgame is to stay as CEO for as long as possible and then sell the company to Apple.
Yep. That's been rumored for a while. But
we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, he came in and set his own salary and stirred things up, and now he's doing what he wants.
I mean, listen, Apple makes fucking bangers, so send it over. Make me some good Star Wars and Marvel shit.
Would Apple buy Disney?
I mean, every company's desire is to monopolize an industry.
That's true.
I don't know that they would allow that to happen, but even if they did, I don't know that I would want that to happen.
No,
I think Apple has been one of the few companies that has been able to not overproduce content.
Yeah, they haven't.
They are very like, what we're doing is good. Most people like most of our stuff, and we're just going to keep doing it at this pace instead of, oh, we're making so much money doing this shit. Let's just pump out more, spend more, pump out more, and then this economy hits.
Speaking of Apple, did you guys watch the trailer that just dropped from Monarch, Legacy of Monsters?
Yeah. November 17th. We got a date on it. Yeah.
Now I'm a Godzilla fan. I'm a Godzilla fan. Those movies fucking sucked. Okay. Every one of them except for Kong Skull Island. That movie was great.
Yeah.
But
no, some of them were fun.
Didn't like. I hated the King Kong versus Godzilla one. The Godzilla one that Gareth Edwards directed was fucking terrible. And then what was the last one with Millie Bobby Brown? Which one was that one? That one was bad too. I don't remember.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Is that the same? Yeah, that's the one with Millie Bobby Brown. Didn't like it.
The King Kong.
Yeah,
Jack Black or whatever.
Oh no, that's very old. That has nothing to do with it. That was Tim Burton. I think.
Oh, was it?
No, not Tim Burton. I'm sorry. No, he's
it's just King Kong 2005, Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. He's talking about the old one with Jack Black. That was not great.
That one was sick. No, that was good.
Kong Skull Island is fucking real good.
Really?
Yeah, Skull Island was who directed that? That was Jordan Vogt Roberts, who is the guy who's like been like for years talking about directing the Metal Gear Solid movie, which is currently still in pre-production. And apparently Oscar Isaac is going to play Solid Snake. Don't know how true that is or any of it, but
that sounds good.
Yeah. But I was interested in this whole fucking thing that they were building up to with this like Monarch company who's like unearthing all the monsters and stuff. So the show from the teaser seems to delve into that. And as you mentioned earlier, goes into past and present with whoever the character Kurt Russell's playing. But wow, what a brilliant idea to cast his son, who looks just like him, as the younger version of him in the past rather than de-aging him. I mean, I guess not every actor has a son that looks identical to him, other than like Ice Cube maybe is the only person I could think of.
Yeah.
Because Denzel's son doesn't look like him.
Come and gone, like James Caan's son.
Oh yeah, James Caan's son too. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like him. You know Kurt. No.
Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas, they look alike.
Kurt and Michael Douglas. There's been a few.
Yeah. That's fair. So yeah. Well, so yeah. Speaking of Apple, that show looks kind of cool. I'm interested. I'll check it out.
I don't know if Apple would want to buy Disney. Like if they're looking at financials, it's like, and it's like
that's a
how
lot
hard
of
is it going to be to
content
monopolize?
To bring on, you're bringing on a lot, so much IP. Like how much did Disney already bought? They bought Fox.
Yeah, but keep in mind,
and
all this stuff that's happening.
Marvel.
Right. But keep in mind, all the stuff that's happening with the strikes and shit, it all is the streamer wars. It's like Yoda. It's like the beginning the streamer wars have. Like it's
but they don't have enough money to buy all the things and truly monopolize the way that would be as effective as they want it to be.
But it's just well, no, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's just a race to cannibalize a very popular thing at the moment. And that's why like everything is getting fucked, you know? But well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna get into an era where all the big media conglomerates that are left are gonna start subleasing their content.
Yeah.
So that you basically you can choose one of the big three for like $10 a month, and you get some content from the other two.
If I had to guess, I would.
But the other two have exclusive content that you can't access, and this one has exclusive content you can't access. So you have to pick which exclusive content, but you can get most of it on one program.
And I bet you it would be driven by, like, I bet you fucking cable companies are going to start to like make deals with these streamers because they're the ones that are going out of business slowly but surely. So I could imagine a world where like Cablevision, let's say, which is like local here in New York, will be like, hey, Netflix, like, let's cut a deal. So like our customers get access to some Netflix content, but not like the exclusive content. Like, watch, you'll see. There'll be some crazy shit happen. Doesn't affect us any though.
Apparently Jackie Chan is in talks to return as Mr. Han in a new Sony Karate Kid film.
Okay.
This is
your segue?
Jonathan Entwistle tapped to direct. This is a little confusing though, because Sony announced that this is going to be a return to the original Karate Kid franchise.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of want to forget the one that they did with Jackie Chan and Will Smith's kid.
Honestly, that movie wasn't that bad.
It was all right, yeah.
It's not as good as the originals, and it's not as good as Cobra Kai. Obviously, Cobra Kai is great, but I mean, I didn't think it was that bad as far as remakes go.
No.
Or reboots, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's coming. And speaking of reboots, The Crow. The Crow's got rebooted. This was in production hell for a while, I guess. Rupert Sanders is directing with a script penned by Zach Balin and Will Schneider, starring our guys Bill Skarsgård. Like I said, the project was thought to be dead in 2018 when director Corn Hardy and Jason Momoa stepped away. But Sanders, Balin, Skarsgård all joined the movie in 2022. And Deadline is now reporting that Lionsgate has made an 8-figure deal to distribute the movie. And while no exact date has been announced, it should be out next year.
Oh, shit.
And then producers, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I could see Bill Skarsgård in that role.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the Crow.
Yeah. Producer Sam Pressman teased possible future projects. Our partners want to approach it in a very 360 way, whether it be video games, an animated series, or a universe. So we're getting a Crow reboot, and if it does well, they may make the Crow universe with more movies and animated shows and possible
Honestly,
video games and stuff.
I don't know.
But I'm okay with that. I don't know.
I don't know if The Crow is that good of a movie, really. Like, it has a cult status, but I always wonder if it's more about.
Well, the first one was great.
It's good, but I wonder if it's like
it's
more
great.
overinflated because of the circumstances surrounding his death, rather than the movie itself, like the merits of the movie itself.
I don't know. I think the story is good. It's a fascinating story.
It's
And
cool.
it got what do you call it? Sequels that are basically the same thing. It wasn't, obviously they couldn't do the same character because he died, but they basically kept the same concept going as, dead guy out for revenge. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it'll be all right. And it's done, I guess. So
Okay.
we get to see it next year. So that's coming out. Another reboot.
Okay.
And that's all I have for the news.
All right. Well, thank you for these. I have one more news piece that I can't believe you didn't touch on. I might have to dock you some pay this week. But did you guys hear about the controversy surrounding Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh yeah, that's big news.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Dusty's ashamed
Fucking
now.
driving and tired, dude. The news is not that.
It's
good,
really
to
no
be
surprise.
honest.
It's really no surprise, but it is funny that it's actually now come out.
Chills.
And just more, TLDR, apparently a company, Bunker 15, their PR firm, apparently alleged Bunker 15 has paid like $50 or more for each review of their films, like on the site of Rotten Tomatoes. So, reviewers and stuff are getting paid off, which is funny because we have talked about the fact that like very often on Rotten Tomatoes, the user reviews don't seem to align with the critic reviews. And it goes both ways. If critics love a movie, audiences hate it. If critics love a movie, if critics love the movie, audiences hate it. If critics hate the movie, audiences love it.
Yes.
So
Very rarely does it match up.
very rarely does it match up. So this would
Makes you wonder who else is getting paid.
Does make you want. We ain't getting paid, that's for sure.
That's
Nope.
why our critiques are better.
Well, yeah, we've said often we don't do reviews because that's fucking scummy and stupid. And it's reductive in nature. We just deep dive stuff. We talk about the film. Whether we like it or not, it's it's not a review. Like we're not saying like this movie's bad. I say this movie's bad often, but that's my just a humble opinion. Reviewers, critics, they say that shit with authority. But Rotten Tomatoes actually has, believe it or not, like a very firm grip over Hollywood, because
I believe it.
their ratings like can make or break a movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the stock world, right? Like how a company whose stock is doing good will just get slandered into the ground, and then the stock fucking plummets, it gets shorted, and all that bullshit starts. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of sucks that like a website can make or break a movie, just like how we talked about with Nick, with like food critics, how like, a fucking Yelp review could make or break a restaurant. Like that's somebody's livelihood. It's so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very stupid industry. But before we move on to the review, I did want to talk about something, and it actually aligns with not only the movie we're talking about, but a lot of the stuff we've been talking about. Crow coming out, and we've talked about it before, but like nostalgia in movies, is it good or bad? Obviously, it could go both ways, but the way Hollywood has been for the last as far as I can remember now at this point in the 2000s. We've been flooded with reboots and sequels and requels and fucking all sorts of quills and whatever you want to call it. And every so often it's done effectively, but just, I wanted to, do you think, and obviously the nostalgia bait at this point in time is geared towards people in my age group, Dusty's age group. Maybe not so much yours yet, Marvin. You have a couple more years before you start getting fucking hook, line, and sinkered by it. But do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? I'll start while you think. I think it's a good thing because I'm the perfect bait for. I love that shit, but of course I like it when it's effective, and I have to use.
Well, when it's done right, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess what I wanted to ask is what is being done right is the question, because the movie
Not much. That's the problem.
Well, no,
They're rebooting everything just for the cash grab, not for
Yeah.
not to make a good movie.
And it's usually
there's a difference between there's a clear difference between milking an IP and pumping out garbage just to make money and using an IP to tell stories continually over and over that people want to consume,
right,
because it's an interesting story or an interesting character, and we get washed up in the middle most of the time with that shit. It leans more towards greed and milking the IP. But every now and again, like, Batman, when Nolan did that, like, that's,
yeah,
they made a lot of fucking money. They didn't really milk the IP. They used it properly.
Correct.
And people loved it. Now, at the end, you could kind of say they kind of milked it, but some of that shit was out of their hands too. Heath Ledger dying, rip him. But
But what about a movie
things
like
changed.
Indiana Jones? That's both. That's milking an IP and a nostalgia bait, because it's like, hey, remember the theme? Remember this?
That's just because, they should have stopped, but they decided they wanted to make some more money, and everybody agreed, and they did a terrible job at doing it. They tried to do it. I mean, that's like you could say the same thing about the prequel Star Wars trilogy. Is that milking it? Or is that Lucas really doing what he wanted to do that he didn't get to do with the first trilogy, and still it sucked? And then, so it's a little bit, it just has to be done right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More often than not, it's not done right.
Correct.
Problem.
A movie I've brought up a lot of times is Ghostbusters. I think that is like the bar. That is the
every now and again you get a gem.
That's the holy grail of like how to do IP that has been on the shelf for many, many years. Give fans everything they want to see. Like, hey, remember this? Remember that? But it's done tastefully. So that brings us to today's film that we're talking about, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Now, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand has been done. They've been through the ringer. They've fucking cartoons and shows and movies and all video games, like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Dating back to the NES.
Yeah. And it is Ninja Turtles holds a very special place in my heart. When I was a kid, it was literally Batman, Superman, Ninja Turtles. That was my shit. I fucking had the cartoons on tape. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You remember that shit, Dusty?
Yeah, my notification on my phone is dun.
Turtle Power. Marvin, you don't remember that show, right?
A little bit, probably before me.
Have you seen the movies from the 90s?
The live action ones?
Yeah.
I like vaguely remember them. Not really.
Oh God, I used to watch those fucking movies on repeat. I could literally say every line of those movies. More so the first one than the second one, but the second one is also good.
Yeah.
The third one, not so much. Third one was kind of shit. They tried to do like their own version of Turtles in Time, but not very good. Have you played the video games, Marvin?
What system?
Nintendo mostly, but they were like arcade games too.
Maybe. It doesn't ring a bell.
Damn. Okay. So would you say that this is like you're new to the Ninja Turtles experience?
It was like top view
yes.
and side scroller.
As an adult,
view.
for sure.
Yeah, no, the games were side scroller. You like running around in an apartment building and there's fire and you're fighting foot soldiers and shit. Yeah, there was a top view one. That was the first one for Nintendo. Turtles in Time is like probably one of the best video games ever made. But yeah, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem is the newest film in the long-lasting Ninja Turtles IP. This is directed by Jeff Rowe and Kyler Spears, and it was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, writing partners, and also co-written with Jeff Rowe. Got a lot of people doing voices in this movie. Micah Abbey is Donatello. I'm not really too familiar with the kids.
I don't know the kids at all, but they did a great job.
Shamon Brown Jr. is Michelangelo. Nicolas Cantu is Leonardo. Brady Noon as Raphael. Him I do know because he was in the Mighty Ducks Disney Plus series.
Okay.
We got Ayo Edebiri. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It's April O'Neil. Maya Rudolph is Cynthia Ultram, the villain of the film, kinda. Our boy John Cena's in this as Rocksteady. Bebop is Seth Rogen. Rose Byrne as Leatherhead. Natasia Demetriou, she was Wingnut, which is funny. She was playing a bat because she's the vampire in What We Do in the Shadows. She's one of the vampires.
Yep.
Our boy Giancarlo Esposito as Baxter Stockman. Jackie
Him.
Chan as Splinter, Paul Rudd, Mondo Gecko, Ice Cube as Superfly, who is like the main villain of the movie, who was great, by the way. Post Malone as Ray Fillet, who's just constantly singing.
Just wants to sing.
Yeah.
He just wants to sing.
Hannibal Buress as Genghis Frog, Derek Wilson as Spider, and fucking Mr. Beast as random Times Square guy.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, so that's a very long cast.
Star-studded.
And this movie,
I would say.
Yeah, no, fuck, they got a lot of voice actors in this shit, and not people who don't typically do voice acting too. But
right.
I specifically read off the whole cast, not because of people who were in it, but because it's like one of the parts of the movie I wanted to talk about. But we'll get to it. But the film follows the Turtle brothers as they work to earn the love of New York City while facing down an army of mutants. Essentially, the movie opens. We see Baxter Stockman. He was a former employee of TCRI, which anybody who's familiar with Ninja Turtles will know. They are the nefarious science fucking organization that developed the mutagen that allowed for these transformations to take place.
The ooze.
The ooze, yep.
Yes, or sludge.
Well,
or
so the old cartoons referred to it as mutagen, which they do mention in this, and then the movies referred to it as ooze. In fact, the second film was.
Well, I was saying Superfly, I think, called it sludge.
They did call it sludge, yeah. So TCRI used to employ Baxter Stockman. He like left the company, and he's like trying to like mutate these animals to have a family or whatever the fuck.
He's lonely.
Yeah, he's lonely, which is not
the guy from Guardians 3, basically. He's just trying to create the perfect creature.
That guy was a psychopath. Baxter, you can kind of feel for.
Yeah, a little.
Nah, you definitely feel for
narcissistic.
But the hit squad shows up, ruins his plans. Some of the ooze gets fucking dropped down a drain into the sewer, and boom goes the dynamite. We know what happens. So this is the story of the Turtles. Like, they're young in this. I mean, they are teenagers, obviously, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're much younger than they're portrayed in like some of the previous media, I thought. And they
were damn near fucking retired, if I remember right. Like, they always seem so much older.
They do seem older,
and other stuff.
But they want they want the love of the city. They want to be part of like human life. They're enamored by New York City and like the culture and
normal shit, really.
And normal shit.
They just want to go to school.
Yeah, they want to fucking. Who the fuck wants to go to school? Nobody. But they do.
Me.
They do. They want to be. They want to be a part of it. And of course, they got their dad mentor Splinter saying like, "Fuck humans. Humans are scumbags. When I was a regular rat, they fucking mistreated me and this, that, and the other thing, and they won't accept you.
Milk you, man.
They gotta milk you, bro." The running milking joke was fucking so funny.
It was hilarious, yeah.
And then there was that line at the end of the movie where he's like,
"You got milk?
He's like, you left the sewer and now you're getting milked." Like, it was something along those lines.
They were trying not to tell him. Like, don't tell him.
What is this? Is that a milking machine?
It's like the Milk-O-Matic or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. That was funny. So I thought the movie was very funny. A lot of the time, I thought it was really funny. Dusty specifically said last week he didn't know. He was wondering how I would like the animations, and maybe because I didn't quite like the animation of the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah,
I did like these. I liked them a lot.
It was good,
actually, because
it was a lot easier to follow, and it wasn't as chaotic as Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but in terms of like actual art, I liked it because it had like this real like urban sort of feel to it, which fits with the theme of like just taking place in New York City, and like, you know, New York has, as do other cities, but like a rich culture of like underculture of like graffiti artists and stuff like that. You know, some people think it's illegal. It is illegal. Some people think it's like, you know, what do they call it? Defacing with property. I think it's art. So I actually really like the art style because it was kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
Overall plot of the movie I thought was good. It worked. But I do have some complaints and grievances about it. And let me list those off and then we'll get your guys' thoughts. So it took me a while to warm up to the voices. That's why I brought up the voice acting. Now, before I watched the movie, obviously I've read some reviews of it and people were complaining about the woke stuff, right? Like, oh man, There's April.
Oh, April's black.
April. Well, not that she's black. This time it was actually that she's not like a thin, hot white chick like she is in past stuff. Like in this, she's like, yeah, she's black, but she's also like, you know, she's a thick girl. She's got she's got a booty. You can see that shit from the front. So I guess some fucking incels didn't really care for that. I don't care. I thought she was a cool April. It was more so the turtle voices. Now, my Ninja Turtles growing up were obviously all white actors. That I don't have a problem with. But the one thing that it really took me a while to get used to was Michelangelo specifically. Because Michelangelo is always portrayed as like a fucking California like surfer, like, whoa, skater man, bro. Like a skater
dude,
bro.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, it's such a huge part of his character.
Mm-hmm.
So that, it took me a while to warm up. I had no problem with what it was in the film. I liked it. I thought he was funny because he still had his little quips and his jokes. And when he did his flip, he was like, he did that like that soulful like.
It felt a little alien at first.
It did. It felt a little bit jarring at first that he wasn't what I had in my immediate memory. But by the end of the film, I'm happy to report I did come around to it all, and none of it really like I didn't bump into it at all. I ended up liking all the voices. I thought I was gonna have an issue with April because in the older material she's like an adult and she's a real reporter, but I think it really worked for her character in this and the story of like trying to get acceptance and stuff like that. So that was cool that she's kind of like similar to their age and whatnot. But the one character that I didn't like was Splinter. Not a fan of how they portrayed my boy Splinter.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it had like all the standard stuff, like the dad, the mentor, like he's got it. Actually, I'm sorry, it had like the dad thing down, not so much the mentor thing down.
Well, he was just more aloof about it. I think he was still a pretty good mentor. He was just not as disciplined.
Well, okay, so mentor. I don't want to argue semantics over what the word means, but because it means a lot of things. But when I say mentor in the old series and movies and comic books, he is like they always refer to him as Sensei, Master Splinter. In this, they refer to him a lot as Dad, and he's much more of a dad to them in this movie than in previous stuff. And I don't think it's a bad thing. He obviously always cares about them, loves them. He does in the old stuff. But his approach of like, don't go outside, like everybody's gonna hate you. It was way more of like a parental thing.
Yeah.
Than like
keep him safe.
Than like a training thing.
At the same time, he wasn't like stalking them, tracking them down. Where are you going? What are you doing? Like,
no, he wasn't. But he had that vibe. Let them go out and
make their own decisions and their mistakes. But you still, I mean, you want to. I mean, as a parent, you kind of want to like protect your child as long as you can because eventually they're going to get out there and they're going to see that the real world is a fucking shithole and people fucking suck. But yeah, and so I kind of got that, but I don't know.
It was effective for his character arc because obviously, by the end of the movie, he realizes that he's kind of no different than Superfly was, like hates humans and is like raising his family to be afraid of everybody.
Right.
And Superfly's like the extreme version of that, trying to like exterminate humanity so that mutants can fit in. But I think I prefer the older Master Splinter. Like he is because Splinter in the original comics and the original live action movies, Splinter is the pet rat of a ninja named Hamato Yoshi in Japan. And he's just a more intelligent rat. Rats actually are intelligent creatures in and of themselves. He's just a little bit more intelligent. But in the comics, he learns ninjutsu by just watching his master practice. And he mimics his master's movements. Eventually, Hamato Yoshi gets into some sort of dispute with another ninja. In the comics, the ninja's name is Oroku Nagi. And Splinter's master, Hamato Yoshi, is eventually murdered by Nagi's brother, Oroku Saki, and Oroku Saki goes on to become Shredder.
Ooh.
So there's a bit more lineage there where there is a beef, like a specific beef between Shredder and Splinter, because Splinter witnessed his master get murdered. In some later stuff, Splinter actually was Hamato Yoshi, just mutated. But again, I prefer the older Splinter because he has like the teachings and the it's all about like it's like what martial arts is. It's not about fucking people up. It's about becoming enlightened and like one with yourself and like your surroundings. And like in the movies, the old Ninja Turtle movies, he's teaching them ninjutsu's not about how to attack people or how to fight people. It's how to defend and distract. And like you don't really want to fight unless you absolutely have to. So there's way more what's the word I'm looking for? What does it mean when you're like really fucking good at
emphasis?
No, when you're really good at a skill, you're very what? What's the word? Fuck.
Efficient.
No. Oh man, I can't think. Anyway, that was like my one. I'll look it up when you guys start talking. But, no, kind of. But that was my one, I guess, real gripe with the movies. I prefer the master Splinter, like the master of his craft, who's like teaching the kids like how to have that type of responsibility and stuff like that. But otherwise, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. What about you guys? Marvin, you go first. I gotta look at this word.
I understand what you're saying about the master Splinter, even though I'm not that familiar with it. I can understand. I think this fits more though because of the age though. Like you wouldn't really want to see, or at least I don't think I would want to see him being so hard on them at this age, as far as like super strict and that sort of thing. I think him being more fatherly and that it works out better with them being so young.
Yeah, well, he's never really strict.
Yeah. Well, more disciplined, more sensei.
That's the word. Disciplined. He is disciplined in his craft, and that's what he's trying to teach them is discipline. How to just use your skills like properly, because they're teenagers. They fucking run amok. They're skateboarding.
Right,
fucking,
to an extent. Yeah, I mean, he's I don't know. Like I said, I used the word aloof earlier, but also like I took this more of like the drunken master type sensei, where he's obviously taught these guys skills because they're well trained. They're fucking kicking ass when they first fucking jumped into action. Yep. So you can obviously tell that he's trained them and that they've learned their craft and they know that they need to stay away. So he's done well, but then they finally get into it. And he's not mad at them. He doesn't scorn them or anything. I think they do a pretty good job in this movie of saying this is probably a pretty good way to do it. I'm not upset that you guys did this as long as it worked out. You know, obviously you'd be upset if it didn't work out and people got hurt and shit. But I mean, that's why you fucking train and teach, right?
Right.
So that those mistakes don't happen. So yeah, I don't know.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that it was. I mean, I get what Dan is saying, like how Splinter was versus how he is, because how Splinter was versus how he's portrayed in this is quite different, but it didn't distract me at all, and I didn't mind it. I liked it, actually.
I mean, I'm sure it was a conscious decision. Like everything has to mesh together, right? Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't want the old school Splinter, and then it doesn't even fit right with the vision they were going with the younger kids. Also, think since I wasn't so attached,
corporal punishment stuff, you know.
Yeah. Since I wasn't so attached to like the originals, the voices they were pretty good for me. Like I didn't feel like I had any issues.
Right.
Kind of just accepting it for what it was. Like it seemed like it was fitting perfectly for
it didn't distract me too long. I mean, it was a little weird at first, but I mean, like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, and I was past it.
Yeah, same for me with the voices. I really liked Jackie Chan as Splinter. But
he's a badass in the movie.
He is. But
like, when he had to show up, he showed the fuck up.
Back to the portrayal of him, just real quick. I can't believe I couldn't think of the word discipline, but that was the word I was thinking of. So yeah, in the older stuff, he is more of their like they come to him for guidance when they don't know what to do. And I'm not a parent, but I've experienced it with my own parents, and I know parents, like my friends are parents now, and like parents don't often make they don't always make the right decision for their kids, and oftentimes their guidance and their advice and stuff comes from a place of personal experience, which we see here with Splinter,
Yes.
but also they kind of do it with their heart because they want to protect their kids. You know, for instance, like something I make fun of my dad about always is he's like old school. He's like, oh, you got to get a good job and get insurance and like this, that, and you got to save money for the future and like for retirement. So like, that's just a very small example of what parents do, but that might not be the best advice to tell your kid to just get a job and regardless of happiness because, you know, whatever. So in this case, again, that's why I say it leaned more towards the dad thing, because his advice, obviously, as we see by the end of his like character arc, wasn't really the best advice because it was stifling them. It was making them unhappy and like they wanted more from life. Whereas the older Splinter had the discipline. His advice came from more of that disciplined place. It had like a reason for it aside from just like emotion being attached to it. That's right. The big difference. But I think
his perspective too, like though, like you could see this as more of like a prequel to what you know as
right, and that's
the Ninja Turtles. So
like we didn't get Shredder in this, so we really don't know. Maybe in the second movie
we did.
We do. Well, we did, but we didn't.
And he looked fucking badass. For the
so
second
maybe they do unveil some history in the next one that they didn't talk about in this one, and maybe there's some subtle hints.
I think it's a great intro story for
absolutely the
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, yes. I did.
For no one that's ever seen Ninja Turtles, I think this is a great intro, and
sure
I think it's a great time in like their lives to show them to like younger people and older people. Like I think it bridges the gap for both. Like it appeals to both.
It gets the point across of like who these people are. Like none of them are like super far separated from their, you know, original characters. You know, Splinter is like the guiding force. Leo's the leader. Raph is like the hothead. Donatello's the brains. Michelangelo's just kind of Michelangelo. They all had those little personalities. In fact, I cried towards the end when, oh man, I'm actually getting choked up now talking about it. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. But when they said to Leo, like, oh man, you weren't lame for once. You actually sounded like a leader. And he's like,
a leader.
I did sound like, because he is the fucking leader. And him and Raph always butt heads because Raph is a hothead and they had that in it.
He's the stubborn hothead.
Yeah. So they did all that stuff perfectly well. So for somebody like Marvin who isn't really familiar with the turtle, like this is a great introduction. And I'm glad you mentioned that it kind of felt like a prequel because it does feel a little bit like a prequel to the Turtles that we come to know.
Yeah.
And this is kind of them just like finding themselves as like, you know, I'm using people for lack of a better word, but yeah, they're finding themselves as like individuals, I should say. The other choice that I thought was a little bit weird is that they turned Bebop and Rocksteady, who are traditionally villains, into friends of theirs who end up like moving into the sewer.
I didn't mind that.
No, I didn't mind it either. I thought it was actually kind of cool. Bebop and Rocksteady. I mean,
if you're gonna mutate them,
and the Warthog. Yeah. They're minions of. They work for Shredder in the old stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I thought that was cool. I like
the soundtrack was amazing in this. I mean, I'm sure you guys thought so too. But
I did. The soundtrack was really good. Was very
Vanilla
good.
Ice,
Shout out Vanilla Ice,
De La Soul.
Well, Marvin
they even had Blackstreet, bro, which is crazy.
That's from the original.
They also had Tribe Called Quest. They had a lot of classics.
Big Pun,
And you don't know this, Marvin, because you've never seen Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, which was the second live action film. But in that movie, there is an iconic scene. I'll have to drop it into the video version of this.
It's so good.
Of a Vanilla Ice concert, and they're fighting Shredder in a Vanilla Ice concert. And in the middle of the fight, he basically writes a song, and it's in this movie. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. And I actually cried when that happened. That was a good little Easter egg. There was a couple of Ice Cube Easter eggs which were funny. I like how they gave him like the Jerry curls that he had like in the 80s when he was in NWA.
Yeah.
On like the on the Fly character.
Yeah.
But also he said, I think, what was it, a line from the song, wake up in the morning with the police at my door, whatever the fuck the line is.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good day.
Yeah, isn't that from Today's a Good Day? Or Today Was a Good Day?
I think so, maybe.
I forget what song it's from. I thought it was an NWA song, maybe.
He referenced a couple. Yeah, he dropped some bars.
He did. Yeah. He's funny. Ice Cube is always fucking hilarious, even doing a voice.
Mhm.
So I liked him a lot. But yeah, there was some cool little Easter eggs. There was a lot of New York Easter eggs too that I was surprised about. This movie does a really good job, and they probably went over your guys' heads.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Well, there was that, but they when Superfly is actually giving his like little like monologue about like why he became disillusioned with humans, they go to a very famous pizzeria called Spumoni Gardens. It's in Brooklyn.
I've heard of that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the best fucking pizza on the planet, and they go there and they recreated it in drawing. Like it was the place. It was like I exact, and I knew it right away. You don't really see it on the sign, but you could tell it was the place. So there's a lot of like little cool stuff like that.
If you're a New Yorker, you get it.
Oh, if you're a New Yorker, you see it instantly. Yeah. But yeah,
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool. There was a lot of little stuff like that like in there, like just for certain people.
Sure.
But yeah, I think speaking to that, like who is this movie for? I always wonder that when I watch movies like this, these nostalgia movies. And I don't think this is a nostalgia bait movie, honestly. I think it stands on its own as just like a good Ninja Turtles movie. And there was enough little like Easter eggs and like references and callbacks to like some of the stuff that I remember as a kid, just enough to be like, hey, here you go. Like, this is for you, buddy. And like, and I think it did a really good job. Like I really enjoyed the movie. I really did. And despite being a little bit like, taken aback, I guess, by the voices early on in the film, by the end, I was like totally fine with it. It was not something that bothered me or made me dislike anything. And I think that was the most important thing, is that they all maintained their like core characteristics, like of who they are. And that's always the most important thing. And again, one of my biggest gripes with like some of the stuff from DCU, they don't really maintain those core characteristics. In fact, they're the antithesis of the core characteristics in some cases. So I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah. That lyric, by the way, it was actually from an Ice-T song.
Oh, is it? I thought it was a hit.
It's called 6 in the Morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he quoted any of his own songs, but he was quoting like a bunch of random shit. Like he even quoted this shit from the OJs, which is an old group.
Yeah. The OJs? I never heard that.
It was the song is called Backstabbers. It was like he said something like, smile in my face whole time they're trying to take my place.
Oh, okay.
And that's the lyrics from that song. I thought that was cool.
What was the De La Soul song they played? I didn't catch that one.
Oh man, it's fuck. What was it?
I like De La Soul. I'm surprised I missed it. But while you're looking at that, speaking on the soundtrack was great. However, I didn't like the score of the movie. That was one of my other complaints and grievances.
Oh, like the actual
film score. It was done by Trent Reznor, who I don't really care for personally. I don't like Nine Inch Nails. He's done some good film scores. Obviously, it's notable for like the Facebook movie or whatever, Social Network. But I didn't think the score really fit the scenes that they were in, to be honest, a lot of the time in the movie.
I don't even remember the score, to be honest.
That's
how irrelevant, if maybe it was.
It was very unmemorable and irrelevant, great word. And I noticed it the whole time throughout the movie because the score was always like very subdued. Meanwhile, they're like having this like big action scene and like whatever the case. Right. So it was a very like kind of like low key score. So I don't know. I just didn't think it like fit in the movie. Musically, I have no problem with it. I just didn't think it really fit for the particular scenes that it was in.
Yeah. I didn't find it lacking. I don't think in the same way you did. I thought it was fine. So
that's fair. I mean, yeah, to each his own. I just thought it was like, I mean, maybe I'm just used to like big budget action movies and there's an action sequence, but the score was like still like very low and subdued, it seemed to me.
Oh, that song was called, I just had it. What the hell? I Know.
Oh, okay.
EYE.
I got to write that down.
Oh, that's right.
I Know. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, that was real. Oh, Otis Redding is in that song.
Yep.
Or they
that was a good song,
sample it. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
I thought some of the action sequences were, a little bit short and like a little bit not as like hype as I would expect from a Ninja Turtles movie, but kind of makes sense because they're like kind of new to it. They don't really know how to fight, or well, they know how to fight, but they don't know how to like put it into practice, sort of.
Right. Yeah, they're young.
So a lot of the fight scenes were like them sort of just like figuring shit out.
Just winging it.
Yeah, they're kind of winging it in this. But yeah, I really did like mostly everything about the movie. Those few things, like the Splinter thing, it's not something that would like make me say that I didn't like the movie. It was just like sort of a little gripe. That's all. But that's just like, I can't help it. Like I grew up watching the shit, so it's like I'm just used to something that was,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
went in with no preconceived notions of what I wanted this movie to be. Or
You
what
really
I thought
can't.
It should be.
Yeah.
Just because like Ninja Turtle movies, I mean, you could argue with people. They're great. They're terrible. Some of them are good. Some of them are terrible.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's subjective. If you like
I was
it, you
pleasantly
like it.
surprised with this just because of the way I went in. I was like, oh, Seth Rogen's making an animated Ninja Turtles movie. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what it is when we see it. And I watched it and I was like, okay, this is funny. Okay, this is good.
I laughed a bunch.
People
I thought
have
it
gripes.
It was super funny.
I thought it was
Like,
funny.
my-
Yeah.
funny.
The funniest thing
I thought
was
the score
when
was fine. Go ahead.
funniest thing to me was when Superfly was beating up somebody and he was just punching the shit out of him. He was like,
was
now
Mike-
he's molly-whopping me.
It was Michelangelo. I actually wrote
shit
that
was so
down.
funny.
It was hilarious.
The car chase scene was probably the best action scene of the whole movie, I think.
That was
And
good.
that maybe in the first fight in
With
the
chop
car
shop.
garage.
Yeah.
Chop shop, yeah.
I like that too because, of course, it had the "Go Ninja Go" part.
You can
Marvin,
definitely
you
tell
gotta.
it has Seth Rogen and
Oh
it's
yeah,
got that.
Marvin, you got to look up the just Google fucking Ninja Turtles 2 fucking.
Oh yeah.
You got to watch it. It's so cheesy but so legendary.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
But yeah, that was a funny line. I wrote that down. He says something like, "First I was something, now he's mollywopping me." And when they were getting the milking joke was fucking funny because they kind of just kept going back to it throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The milking scene was funny because he's like, he was just like, I'm being milked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really funny stuff, and for a PG movie, like the milking thing was kind of like more adult oriented humor, so I
Yeah.
appreciated that. And then,
Bro,
it's like
when Superfly, they were talking about once he takes over the world, and they're talking about forms of entertainment using humans.
yeah.
And one of his suggestions is fucking big booty boy races. I was like, what the fuck is he talking
Oh yeah,
about?
big booty boy races. Yeah.
That shit was crazy, bro.
I thought what's his name was really funny. Paul Rudd. As
He was.
as the lizard
fucking
guy.
surfer bro.
Yeah. He was
Hippie
more
guy.
so Marvin, since you're not really familiar with the older stuff, that is more in line with what Michelangelo was in the past. So
Got it. Okay.
so you see, it's a kind of a staggering difference.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, overall I really enjoyed it. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch on?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
The animation was good. I liked the score. Soundtrack was great.
Pleasantly surprised is a good way to say it. I didn't
pleasantly
really
surprised.
have expectations
Yeah.
for it. I just didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah.
Marvin mentioned it in Discord the other day, and I think I agree. I think I enjoyed this a little bit better than I did Across the Spider-Verse in terms of
This is way better than
comparing
Yes.
animations. I think this was a better movie.
It's
to be
probably
perfectly
like
honest.
Yes.
tied for the first one for me. But this is definitely better than the second one.
So yeah, it has a 7.3 on IMDb. I am there. I think I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Dang.
Oh, I'll
kinda
give it
wanna
an
bump
8.
this up.
I give it an 8. I liked it. I'm trying to think if this is my favorite animated movie this year so far. There's been a couple of DC that were pretty good, and then a couple
Mario
other ones I
came
watched.
out
I'm
this
trying to
year,
think
right?
about. Yeah.
Right.
So,
I might actually like this more than the Mario movie.
but yeah, this is good. I'll give it a bump. I liked it. I
Yeah.
said, pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bump.
I give it
I'll
an
bump
8 too. Actually, my favorite, the funniest scene rather for me was when they were imitating New Yorkers. I ran that back like 3 times. That shit was so funny.
Oh, the Bronx.
Yeah. We outside. We outside.
I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. I watched it before I drove back out here, so I had seen it in a few days, and I wanted to rewatch it today, but I didn't have time. So I'm excited to rewatch this.
Yeah.
I'll bump it up. I'll bump it up to an 8. You guys convinced me.
Nice.
So
Across
funny.
the board.
8's across the board. A lot of people.
Good movie. Go see it.
A lot of
They
people.
said, they said the guys were in a room together for this, so that's why they were probably able to feed off and
Oh, you
make
could
it
tell,
seem
yeah.
a little better.
Yeah.
You could tell
When
that
you
they.
doing that
audio
scene, they were
recording.
like, you could literally hear them through each other's mics, and it was sick.
Yeah.
It was good.
On the IMDb, there's not really like it has an overall 7.3, which is good, but a lot of the individual ratings, people are like, pretty bad movie, blah blah blah
It
blah.
seems low, especially for how overhyped Across the Spider-Verse was. This seems low compared
think
to that.
that was
'Cause what's
the-
that, like an 8.5 or 9 or something crazy?
That movie's real overhyped, honestly.
That shit is so overhyped.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I bumped Spider-Verse down.
I also think the funny part about this movie too is they kind of like dangled the title Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like over the audience the whole time, but they never actually came out with it. Like the news was calling them something different, like
Oh, you teenagers. Yeah, makes sense.
kind of in line with like if at the news at the end they were calling them like Kung Fu Turtles or whatever the fuck. There was like there's
Yeah.
always like vague little differences, but it's because you're waiting for them to be like, just call them what they are. They're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But they never actually kind of delivered on that. And I thought that was like kind of like a funny little joke. But yeah, here's a 1 rating. What a time waste.
Wow.
Nothing really interesting to read from it. It's just weird that. So from the original story, you have
anonymous
turtles,
people shitting on movies.
rat, pizza, and rest is gone. No cleverness, nothing to hold you to watch. Yeah, I guess a lot of people think the movie was boring. I didn't really.
That's weird. I don't
I didn't
understand.
really
I
find
thought
that.
it was very clever, actually. I was like, okay, we're getting a new villain, and it's Seth Rogen doing Ninja Turtles. This is okay. Well, I mean, I'll judge it when I see it. And I thought they did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia
the
bias
haters.
in me, but I do legitimately think it was good. Because let me tell you something. I was like a huge Ninja Turtles fan as a kid. I had all the toys. I had like the sets. I had like a set sewer, like a whole big sewer system. I had the Technodrome, which is Krang's fucking ship from the cartoons. You don't even know about Krang, Marvin. Wait till you get to his ass.
Krang, damn,
Yeah, he's an alien fucking brain, basically.
Yeah, it's kinda, yeah.
And he like,
Kind of like MODOK.
I wonder
Yeah.
how many they'll do of this.
I hope
keep
more. I
going
want to
or
see
what.
Shredder, baby. Like they
Oh,
gotta
they'll
give a
definitely do
Shredder.
At least one more, yeah.
And also, you know what? Last thing I'll say, props to having the fucking balls to not just come out of the gate with Shredder.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Yep.
takes balls because you know that's what people want to see. So
That's right.
that's good. Big fan. Big fan. Good on them.
I'm surprised they did all those anime what was like one anime reference? The
Oh, Attack on Titan.
thing,
There was a
but
lot of like pop
I'm
culture
surprised they
references.
threw that in there, like in
Yeah.
this type of main Hollywood type of movie.
Yeah, and there's,
I don't know. I mean, this is geared towards a younger audience.
for sure. Yeah,
I mean,
but it was
me and Dan are on the older side of it.
But it was
geared
such a
towards-
small thing, so I think it wasn't even that big of a deal. So
no, but
worked out.
they had a lot of pop culture references that really made it an effective. It was a really effective way to introduce the turtles to modern audiences, modern
Yeah.
kids. You know what they
he
talk
did call
about.
himself Godzilla too. That was
Yeah,
funny.
they talk-
Superfly when
talk-
he got big.
Yeah, they talked about
Yeah.
Godzilla. They talked about the fucking anime. They talked like, you know, they were talking about like social media. They mentioned a couple of like.
All their pizza boxes had Pizza Hut logo on it. Did you see that?
I did, yeah. They had a bunch of musical artists like references, like ones that are popular now.
Yeah.
They mentioned Adele, and they were like, "Oh, it was transcendent," like her voice. So, yeah, it was cool. I liked it a lot.
It's
So,
a fun
yeah.
movie.
Fuck the haters, indeed.
Yep.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us, folks. Let us know in the comments if you liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Let us know. We want to hear from you. But otherwise, next week you could catch us right here. You can check us out on harshlanguage.tv. All our links are on there, wherever you might listen or watch podcasts. What are we doing next week? Did we plan it out yet? I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, stay tuned. Check back next week, folks, and you'll see what movie we're doing. But until then, thanks for watching or listening. We'll catch you then.
See ya.
Pasta.